Kia ora and welcome to this episode of The Image Austenite. I'm Frances Duncan, an author and the founder of the Jane Austen Society of Aotearoa, New Zealand. My co-host is Rachel Pilwer.
Hello.
Today we're discussing Chapter 5 of Emma. In Chapter 5, Mr Knightley and Mrs Weston argue about whether Emma should be friends with Harriet. This is so interesting in a book that's titled after her. She's not present in this chapter. Her two closest friends are talking about her and trying to decide her fate in the way that she's deciding Harriet's fate. And I really love that there's this underlying stuff going on because Mrs Weston's like, I want her to marry my son. And Mr Knightley's like, she's fucking up her life. I really want to see this scene done as Mrs Weston being like, oh, Mr Knightley, Emma's pretty, don't you think? Being like, I see you.
I mean, they've been best friends for years. Surely Mrs Weston is like, I feel like whenever I've hung out with some friends and I'm like, I see we have another friend who's their kind of type, and I'm just like, I think I see Kissing in a tree on the horizon, you know? I'm like, you guys could be so into each other if you just listen to me. And then now I'm talking like Emma. But I'm just observing, being like, okay. And I feel like Mrs Weston totally could be doing that with Mr Knightley.
But I think she's just so blinded by, I want Emma to marry Frank and be my actual daughter. And she refers to Emma and Isabella as her daughters in this chapter. Again, I love when she does that. We're going to have another argument about Emma, aren't we? They've done this before.
This is a common occurrence that they've had over time. Knightley was 16 when Emma was born. So obviously he's seen her grow up and how she's been raised. Maybe in his 20s, I mean, it's not his place to say, but maybe he's been like, I don't know if you should be doing this with Emma, or maybe she should maybe he's had opinions on how Mrs Weston was being as a governess. They've probably had this argument many times. And surely it's been going on since before Emma came of age, from the sounds of it.
Mr Knightley's like, she could be so much better, you know? She's got all this potential. Mrs Weston's like, but she's perfect.
Yeah.
Isn't she perfect?
She's not quite an entitled parent, but she's like, my child can do no wrong. What are you talking about? My beautiful baby angel daughter, get away. I need her to marry my beautiful baby angel stepson, who as she met him at this point, I don't know. She hasn't met Frank Churchill. He's been mentioned. His father talks him up, which is fair, as parents do, which is how she does with Emma.
Can we judge Mr Weston for his judgment of character? I don't think so.
No.
He just thinks good of everybody.
He's had very good taste in acquaintances. He's got a very good taste in a partner with Mrs Weston. Most of his correspondence with Frank has been through letters.
They might be like the Bingleys. They're both just really nice people. And always think the best of people.
Yeah. They'll always outdo their income or something. Is that
always be cheated.
Yeah, they'll always be cheated. And I always like that comment about the Bingleys, is that they're just so nice. People are going to take advantage of them and they'll be fun with that. It's like, sad but funny.
And true.
The Westons are very similar. They're very affable people.
It's joy when nice people find each other.
When nice people find each other, it's sweet, it's lovely. You feel the joy yourself. If a nice person ends up with someone bad, it's devastating. It's like, no, you deserve so much better. When two bad people end up together and end up being bad, like, unless they're a supervillain couple, if they just end up disliking each other and they've been bad people, sometimes you feel a little vindicated. You're kind of like, yes, you guys will have the worst life together. I feel so satisfied with this result.
Oh no, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions.
Which is Lydia and Wickham. You reap what you sow.
But you can see this lovely relationship between Mrs Weston and Mr Knightley. They feel comfortable discussing stuff at a certain level. And he's even teasing her. He's like, maybe you think I came to quarrel with you because Mr Weston's out and he can't protect you. And he's like, nope, he's on my side of the argument. We both think Emma is fantastic and you can't do anything to change our mind.
But this is a really interesting chapter, as you said, because Emma's not involved, but it really shows how important Emma is to both of them, but how important these two people are in Emma's life. It really emphasizes the significance of both Mrs. Weston and Mr. Knightley, that they're not just close friends. They are literally like two closest people to Emma. Even more than her sister, it seems, that more than her father. It's like these are the two people who have the most bearing on who Emma is as a person. And they're also, I think, the people who care the most about her future. Mr. Woodhouse cares about Emma and loves Emma. His cares, I think, about her future revolve around how close she is to him. He's very much focused on
his gentle selfishness.
Exactly. Isabella, very similar to her father, but she's not living at home. She wants good things for Emma, but she's not actively trying to make anything happen. She's not actively worrying about the specifics of Emma's future the way that Knightley and Mrs. Weston do.
Mrs. Weston quite rightly points out it's hard for women to be alone. Yes, particularly in this time period, because there wasn't other stuff to distract you. You needed female companionship. She's like, yeah, okay. Harriet's not as fancy as Emma. She's not as smart, but it's really important that she has a woman around to talk to.
She can't talk to you about everything going on in her life. While the Westons visit pretty much every day, she still needs someone as a different sort of companion who isn't this guardian. Friendship is so important. And it's nice, though, that you see that Mrs. Weston advocating for that, for Emma. It's really, like, centered on her well-being, which is really sweet and lovely. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you just love Mrs. Weston the more you read about her.
And I love that she gets to have a child too, so that she gets to have a biological child as well, so gets to do the whole gambit of motherhood, because she didn't get to have the girls when they were babies.
Yeah. So she gets to kind of have the full experience. Yeah.
I mean,
the sleepless nights and the
babies are lovely to hold and then give back.
Yeah. I have always wanted children of my own, and I still do. But sometimes I'm like, I underestimate how much I value time alone, and I'm just like, it's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've never babysat for anybody. I've been asked to babysit people, and I've said, I don't want to be responsible for your child. No, thank you. Your dog, however, I will dog sit for you. I will be responsible for your soft, fluffy animal, sure.
Yeah, dogs are much better at telling you what they want and need than babies. Babies cry and you're like, I don't know why you're crying.
I don't know. I don't understand this language, so my apologies.
You've been fed and changed and you're still crying and I don't get it. Whereas dogs are like, I'm good. I'm stand by my goal.
Play with me.
Give me food. No, cool. Yep, walks. Yep. Real simple. Anyway. But like Harriet being a dog.
Yeah. What does Harriet need? She'll just sit by her food bowl and tell you. Just go, Harriet's hungry, doesn't say anything, just goes to sit at the table and be like, waits for her food, just looks at you, just, where is it? Where is it? You want to go walkies? Emma gets summoning Harriet to go for a walk. You want to go walkies? Come on.
Who's a pretty girl?
When you can't talk to women, so you just treat them like dogs. You're just like, oh, who's the most beautiful girl?
Mr. Knightley is like, yeah, the problem is Emma's too smart. She's smarter than everyone, and this is kind of a problem. She's smarter than her sister, who's 7 years older than her. She's been mistress of the house since she was 12, and she's run everyone in her family, and her mother was the only person that would have been able to cope with her. She inherits all her mother's talents, and she would have been, under her mother, and it would have been fine. And it made me think of the relationship that Mrs. Woodhouse must have had with Mr. Woodhouse. Makes me think a little bit... I mean, this is a much worse example. Sir Walter Elliot and Lady Elliot. That she was very superior to him. She was smarter and all of that. But I think that Mr. Woodhouse would have been nice to his wife, whereas I don't think Sir Walter was. To his.
Mr. Woodhouse probably would have. He is so. I don't want to say he's checked out, but he's very happy to let Emma run the house, and I think part of that is he finds that comforting because he used to kind of let his wife do that. Yeah. She is the mistress of the house, but he was probably more than happy to have his very smart wife doing the day-to-day stuff. He didn't feel the need to... I feel like Mr. Woodhouse didn't dictate to his wife. Because he doesn't dictate to his daughters. He tells them his grief about eating and all of his little quirks and things. But he's never outright like, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. I want you to do it like this. He's just like, oh, okay, I don't really like this thing. But at the end of the day, he gives them very free rein.
I wonder what it was like for Mrs. Woodhouse, because Emma marrying someone like her father would probably drive her insane. She wants someone that's an equal. Or like Mr. Bennet says in Pride and Prejudice, I want you to respect your partner and look up to them. If you can't do that, you're going to treat them like crap. And I feel like Emma would do the same. She kind of needs someone that's a little bit above her. And I wonder how Mrs. Woodhouse felt being married to Mr. Woodhouse. Does she have that sweetness?
Did she have the respect for him? Did she marry someone who wasn't her equal? I'd be curious to know how Mrs. Woodhouse was raised. Emma's been looking after her father all her life, which is why marrying someone like her father would drive her insane. She needs someone to care for. She loves to care for her father. She loves her father very much. But she needs someone she can have conversation with, which she can't do with her father. If her mother was very similar, I feel like her respect for Mr. Woodhouse would be dependent on if she had to look after someone similarly beforehand. Was she raised the same way as Emma as well, to be the mistress of her household? Or did she come into that after she was married and just kind of step in? We don't know much about Mr. Woodhouse when he was younger, you know. Has he always been a bit of a hypochondriac? Or is this something that's come on later in life? Maybe after the passing of his wife. Maybe
maybe he never really recovered after she died.
Yeah. And maybe he's so set in his ways and doesn't like change because her death might have been such a big change that everything after that just had to kind of stay as similar as possible to how it was before she died. It's such a big change that maybe in life he just couldn't handle more change like that. The intricacies of the Woodhouses that we'll never know the answers to.
This is the great thing about Austen's characters, though, that they're so well-rounded that you can have these big discussions about the psychology and their past and all the effects of things because they feel like real people. When some books you read, all you see is the person on the page. There's not that depth, but you can see into the depth of the characters in Austen, which is
the depth of the secondary characters as well. Is the thing, because I feel, especially with how a lot of romance books are written nowadays, you get a whole lot about your main your main couple, but all the side characters are just that. They're very flat.
Or caricatures. The gay best friend.
The gay best friend, or the overbearing parent, or you don't sit here and discuss for 10 minutes, you know, how the dead parent who they never met was raised to, you know, you don't go into that. Because
although, to be fair, not many people discuss books like we do.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. But, I mean, how many other books could we discuss like this that we've both read, you know?
True. And Mrs. Weston's like, I mean, it sounds like you're saying I was a bad governess, by the way. Mm-hmm. He's like, no. But also, you're much better as a wife. You're so good at this. Like, although one of the things that bothers me is very matrimonial point of submitting your own will and doing as you were bid. I'm like, ouch. Oh, hello, the patriarchy.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable to read
My
now.
brain has to pause on that and think about it. Like, it's just...
Is this what he honestly thinks, or is he making a joke about it? Because, I mean, yes, she didn't have to submit to Emma's will and do as Emma told her to do.
Emma was her boss. We discussed that. Emma, while she's teaching Emma and disciplining Emma, end of the day, Emma is still the one who... It's her family who's paying the bills for Miss Taylor, Mrs. Weston.
As we were saying, the Westons are a good match. And she's like, I mean, there's very little merit in making a good wife to such a man as Mr. Weston. Like, he's great. And he'd be just like, you like me? You like me? And he'd be so grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about love languages previously. Mr. Weston is one of those men who I think has every love language under the sun. Like, words of affirmation, physical affection, acts of service. I feel like he is the kind of man who would be so doting on his partner. And Miss Taylor, I think, is also, she's such a caring person, you know, that they probably are just like the best couple, beloved by all. But it's an interesting take, Mr. Knightley's thoughts on her is like, you're very fit for a wife, but not at all for a governess. In a way, it's criticizing, but it is a compliment in a way of, you are the perfect wife. You are such a wonderful woman, and you would be a wonderful mother. but you're not an educator. You're not teaching.
The good teachers need to be, well, not exactly mean, but like a little strict.
Yeah.
To get people to focus, and she'd just let Emma wander off wherever. And Mr. Knightley's outlining how Harriet, in a some sort of way, is like, she's just flattering Emma, and Emma doesn't have to stick to anything with her. It's not good. And also, it's not good for Harriet.
It shows that Mr. Knightley is so aware about how actions will affect other people. A lot of characters, especially a lot of male characters in these books, are so focused on themselves and how things are affecting them. Mr. Knightley is one of those ones who sits there and kind of observes everybody, just kind of sees like how this, like he thinks of all of the possible outcomes, and he's super aware of how negative those outcomes will be. He's a realist. He knows about what the world is like. Him disapproving of Emma and Harriet's relationship is a way of protecting them both. He is a genuinely loving and caring person. He knows, can't convince Harriet not to spend time with Emma, but he can try and persuade Emma as best as anybody could persuade Emma to do something she doesn't want to do. He's able to kind of say, look, I can see this, it's not going to end well. And obviously Emma doesn't heed any warning from anybody. But I think it's like a really nice part of his character that he sees that.
And I think that's why he must be such a good landlord. Because he is considering consequences of things for everybody, not just the one person.
Not just the one person. He would be the best manager.
Which is basically what being an estate owner's like, right? Yeah.
Well, I assume so. I've never and may never own a estate. Owning a house, being a landlord in this economy.
Mrs. Weston's like, can't really argue with that. Emma looked really pretty last night, didn't she?
The segue, the totally unsubtle almost segue of like, oh, but she's so pretty, right?
And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna, yes, she's pretty, okay? I don't know anyone who's prettier. Fine, she's pretty. But also, I mean, she's not vain, which is good. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love to look at her. I really wish that someone would play this scene with Mrs. Weston being like, Emma's really pretty. Don't you think, Mr. Knightley?
How well she looked last night. I love the way he says, he's very well. I shall not attempt to deny Emma's being pretty. And I love that Mr. Weston comes back with like the pretty, say beautiful rather. Can you imagine anything near perfect beauty than Emma altogether, face and figure? And I'm like, that's how I talk about my best friend. Yeah, all of my friends. I'm like, you call them pretty? They are stunning. They are amazing, beautiful, never seen before. And
he's like so reluctantly like, I mean, yeah, I have seldom seen a face or figure more pleasing, but I am a partial old friend. Like, denial.
Yeah.
Denial,
like,
man.
We're just friends.
We are just, and he even refers to her as a sister later in the chapter. Like, she's as much my sister as Isabella, right? Right? We're siblings, right? That's what this is.
She's my sister-in-law. My brother married her sister. We are siblings.
It's not weird that we're this close and that we fight all the time. It's not weird.
Yeah. Siblings do that. Siblings have that kind of relationship. They just know each other really well.
Fine. And he wants to like bring Isabella and John into it and be like, I mean, we can get our siblings involved and tell her that she shouldn't be friends. But Mrs. Weston's like, yeah, you know that's not going to work. That it will just get everybody really stressed. You know that Emma doesn't listen to anyone except maybe her father. And he likes Harriet. You're just going to stress people out. Don't do it. He's like,
He's just like, but I think it's a bad idea and you don't see, he doesn't see why it's a bad idea. And he's like, it's like for him, he's kind of having internal panic over the fact that it seems nobody else can see why this is a bad idea. Everyone's just like, oh, she's so pretty and lovely and Harriet's so sweet and nice and of course, good friends. Lesbians.
Pretty girls.
Mr. Knightley and everybody else is like, oh yeah, they were roommates. And he's like, but they're more than, they could be more than roommates and I can't handle it.
There we go. I'm going to go with that interpretation that Mr. Knightley's jealous because he's like, I don't want Emma to hook up with a girl. She's never going to go for me if she's been with a girl.
In a few more chapters, Emma talks about how she never thinks she'll marry. Maybe it's because she could be gay. We're not projecting here, by the way. This is not us. This is not projecting at all. He could be so used to being her particular friend and being one of her main confidants that he could be a little bit jealous of the intimacy in Emma and Harriet's relationship as well.
Don't steal my best friend.
Don't steal my best friend. And there can only be one.
He even says about it, Emma always declares she will never marry. But it means nothing. It's nothing. She just hasn't met anyone yet. And I think that she should fall in love with someone and be unsure whether they love her, because she needs to just know how that feels. Yeah. She needs to know how I feel.
Yeah.
She needs to know what this feels like.
Emma's never been in love before. Mm-hmm. And, we don't know how long Mr. Knightley's kind of been in love with her, which could sound a bit creepy. If Emma was to fall in love with Harriet, it's like they could never marry. They could never publicly be together. They would be particular friends who are spinsters for the rest of their lives. And also that's not really the kind of life that I think either of them would really be happy with, or that Mr. Knightley would want for them. That's our personal take.
That's our personal take. But I love that the Westons want to matchmake Emma with their son so she can be like their actual daughter. That's so cute. As much as I would love this chapter to be read as Mrs. Weston teasing Mr. Knightley because she knows he's into Emma, it's pretty obvious that she has no idea. And he, I think, has no idea that he's into Emma.
He knows he cares about Emma a lot. You've got to wonder, did he have this kind of regard for Isabel? If he sees her as a sibling? Or was he always like, well, everybody, maybe it was one of those things that everybody knew Isabel and John were always going to be together, But Mr. Knightley, I think, doesn't realise that the regard he holds, he knows the regard he holds for Emma, he doesn't quite hold for anybody else. But I think it's not until Frank Churchill comes to town that he truly understands what it would mean if Emma married somebody else, how he feels about her. Mrs. Weston, I think she just wants to, yes, she wants Emma with Frank so that way she can finally have her as officially a daughter. And I think Mr. Weston and Mrs. Weston have always probably seen Emma as a bit of a daughter in a way anyway. But at this point, Mrs. Weston hasn't had her own child. She has literally raised Emma. Mr. Weston didn't even get to raise his own son either. He's always kind of been there in Emma's life as well for a long time. While Mrs. Weston would love Emma to marry Frank, I think she just wants to see her married and happy and settled in the end of the day. She would love it to be with her son, but she doesn't care really who it is as long as they're good to Emma and Emma is loved.
Setting up Emma to be loved through life.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because she doesn't know Frank yet.
No, which makes this all the funnier as well, in a way.
I'm just going to believe everything Mr. Weston says, that he's such a great guy. But I mean, in some ways, Frank's a bit of a dick.
As we'll discuss many, many, many chapters from now, that Frank's motivations, and actually they are quite good motivations, or very understandable motivations for how he acts and what he does, doesn't put aside the fact that he leads everybody on. He pretends to be not really someone he's not, but in a circumstance that he's not. And so it is actually kind of deceptive. It's a bit deceitful. He can't tell anybody who he really is or his situation. And so maybe if he was in the circumstances that everybody thinks he is at this point in the book, he would be quite a good match for Emma.
Maybe.
They do have very good conversation later on. They do have a good rapport.
But he won't settle down. And that's the thing. Emma's like, I couldn't marry him because I need to stay with my dad.
He wouldn't stay.
So it's always only ever going to be Mr. Knightley unless they kill off Mr. Woodhouse.
Emma's life is so focused on her father. She feels she'll never marry because she can never leave him. In the end, I don't really think she wants to, She's content. She doesn't need anything,
As it says, she's more mistress of his house than she could be of any husband's, really.
Yeah.
She wouldn't gain anything by marrying.
No. Her pastime of getting other people married is all that she really feels she needs to have. It fulfills her in a way that marriage might fulfill Mrs. Weston.
I like swearing when talking about Jane Austen, also because people look at me strangely and they laugh. I talk about this like it's a normal thing, okay? I talk about Jane Austen like it's normal. I mean, she may be queen, but still. And that is our discussion of Chapter 5 of Emma by Jane Austen. I'm Frances Duncan. This has been Rachel Kilworth.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, and we wish you happy reading. Right, seriousness.
They're lesbians.
If Harriet's doing a good enough job, You don't need a man.
Yeah.
No, it's fulfilling.
We all know Emma's in charge of the bedroom.
Oh, yeah. But I expect she would want to be worshipped.
Oh, that's topping from the bottom.
Yeah.
She would.
Should
But maybe that
seriously
would mean
come
that
out.
her and Harriet wouldn't make a good match then, because I think she's a little bit kinky as a person.
Yeah, she and Mr. Knightley would have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she does need a little bit of that masculine energy, particularly because she's got a little bit of masculine energy.
Yeah.
Like, she needs a strong masculine energy to get her going, I reckon.
She needs someone to fight with in the bed.
Yeah.